The double glass doors of Morgan & Chase Bank slid open with a quiet hiss as Damon Carter stepped inside. The morning light gleamed off the polished marble floor, casting gold streaks across the white walls and brass fixtures. The bank was quiet, its air cold and clinical, interrupted only by the rhythmic tapping of keyboards and the murmur of client consultations in glass offices. Damon paused for a moment, adjusting his silk tie. His suit, a deep navy tailored to perfection, hugged his athletic frame. In one hand, he carried a leather briefcase. In the other, his phone displayed the time, 9:58 a.m. He was early. As he approached the receptionist, the door to the branch manager's office swung open. "What the hell is this black guy doing in here?" barked a voice. Damon turned, startled. The man was in his late 40s, red-faced, with thinning blonde hair, slicked back in vain. He wore a tailored gray suit and a cheap smugness that made the air heavier. "You lost or something, pal?" the manager continued. "This isn't a soup kitchen. You don't belong here." The word struck like a slap. Heads turned, some in disbelief, most in silent complicity. "I have a 10 o'clock, Damon said calmly. "With Mr. Gerald Pierce." The manager laughed. "A meeting? Here? With me?" He looked around theatrically. "You got jokes, huh?" "Sorry, I think you meant the public bank 2 blocks down. You know, the one with the long line of folks trying to cash checks they can't cover." No one intervened. Damon blinked once. His face stayed unreadable. He simply nodded and walked toward the waiting area, the slap of his polished shoes the only sound in the tense T10:07 a.m. He sat down. BY 10:30. No one had called his name. T11:12. He politely asked the receptionist for a glass of water. She didn't respond. T11:44. He approached again. "Excuse me, I had an appointment." Before he could finish, the manager's voice thundered from across the room. "I said wait. Or do you people not understand basic instructions? Read your little emails, or play with your TikTok, or whatever it is you do. We're working." Damon returned to his seat. Inside, a flame flickered. But outside, he was icy. T12:06 p.m. The manager strolled out with a steaming coffee, whistling. He froze when he saw Damon still there. "You're still here?" he sneered. "You think if you sit there long enough, someone's going to mistake you for an executive." He chuckled, sipping his coffee. "Let me guess. You printed out some fancy charts from Google, threw on your cousin's suit, and decided to pitch some app idea to the big boys. Sound about right?" A young teller glanced up, visibly uncomfortable, but said nothing. "You want advice?" the manager added. "Start smaller. Sell sneakers out the trunk first. You people always try and skip steps." Damon gripped his briefcase tighter. "Breathe. Just breathe." BY 12:23. The manager was back in his office, laughing into a phone. "Still here? Like a lawn ornament. Maybe we should bring out some fried chicken and gospel music, see if he moves." A teller gasped softly. The manager didn't care. At 1:03 p.m., Damon's head tilted forward. Not asleep, just tired. The manager leaned against his office doorway. The businessman's knocked out now. Guess the hustle life's exhausting. Should we call security? Or better yet, ICE? More laughter. Another staffer averted her eyes. Then came 1:17. The manager, loud and deliberate, spoke into his phone. "Yes, officer. I'm calling from the downtown Morgan & Chase. We've got an individual here, black male, agitated, possibly armed. Refuses to leave. No ID. Staff feels unsafe." He looked directly at Damon as he said it. "Yep. Send someone soon." "Thank you." He hung up and stretched. "Help is on the way," he said with a smirk. At 1:36 p.m., 2 uniformed officers entered, scanning the room. One approached the counter. The other walked straight toward Damon. "Sir, please stand," the taller officer said. Damon opened his eyes, slowly. "What's the issue, officer?" "Your presence was reported as suspicious. We need ID and an explanation." Damon calmly opened his briefcase. From a neat inner pocket, he produced a corporate ID and a letter. Official bank stationery with his name, today's date, and meeting with Gerald Pierce printed in bold. The officer frowned. "Check the ID again. Seems legit," he muttered. "Still, let's confirm." He forged that. The manager snapped, stepping forward. He's been hostile, disruptive. He threatened staff. Lies, said the young teller. Everyone turned. I heard everything. He didn't threaten anyone. He never raised his voice. He just waited. The officers exchanged glances. The tension was thick. Then a door opened near the executive suite. A woman in her 50s emerged, immaculate navy blazer, sharp eyes, phone to her ear. Behind her followed a silver-haired man with the kind of presence that silenced rooms. Two more people trailed him, legal counsel, by their suits and expressions. The woman ended her call. What's going on? The receptionist stammered. The manager stepped forward. There was a situation. This man, Mr. Carter, the silver-haired man interrupted. He walked forward, extending his hand. I'm Ethan Mallory, Executive VP of Strategic Partnerships. We had a 10 a.m. appointment scheduled. I deeply apologize for the delay. Pierce's mouth dropped. Sir, He never identified himself. You thought what? Mallory said coldly. That a black man in a suit couldn't possibly be here for a business meeting? No, I save it, said the woman beside him. I'm head of compliance. And what you just did, that's called profiling, discrimination, possibly unlawful obstruction. The officers stepped back. Everyone was still. Ethan Mallory turned to Damon. Mr. Carter, your company's platform has already passed vetting. Today was meant to be our final onboarding discussion. You waited hours, under abuse, I cannot begin to excuse. Damon stood, finally. I waited because I believed someone decent would show up. You've got that now, Mallory said. Let's go to my office. As they turned to leave, Mallory paused. Gerald, he said without looking back, pack your things. Pierce blanched. But sir, you're done. You'll be escorted out after Mr. Carter finishes his meeting. Damon didn't glance at him, that he didn't need to. The suit wasn't rented. The meeting wasn't fake. And the deal, worth $3 million in tech development for minority-owned startups, would go forward. Just not with Gerald Pierce. 3 days after the incident at the bank, Damon Carter walked through the revolving doors of a different branch. This one quieter, with sunlight pouring in through tall glass panels. No one sneered. No one stared. A security guard offered a courteous nod. A teller smiled. Damon nodded back, briefcase in hand, steps steadied on the top floor. Nathaniel Langston, the regional director, rose from his chair as Damon entered. Mr. Carter, he greeted, extending his hand. Thank you for agreeing to meet here. Damon shook his hand. A new environment makes for clearer conversations. Langston offered a quiet smile. The man who insulted you, he's gone. Officially dismissed. And we've opened a formal inquiry into branch-level discrimination. Damon placed the briefcase on the table, but didn't open it yet. It shouldn't have taken public shame for your institution to do what was right. You're right, Langston admitted. But what happened forced us to confront a truth we've been ignoring. And frankly, we need your insight moving forward. Damon raised an eyebrow. We'd like to bring you in as a diversity and equity advisor. Help us reshape how we do business. Not as a token, as a leader. Damon considered this. You want me to help fix a system designed to exclude me? I want you to help us dismantle the parts that need to go, Langston replied. With your guidance, we can build something better. Not just for appearances, but for results. Damon paused. Then he opened his briefcase and slid across the signed agreement for the $3 million partnership. Then let's talk about what better actually looks like. Langston reviewed the document and nodded. Welcome aboard, Mr. Carter. As Damon exited the office, employees in the lobby looked up, not with suspicion, but with quiet recognition. His story had spread, and with it, a shift in atmosphere. Outside, the day was bright, the city humming with motion. He passed by a bus stop where a young black teen sat reading a finance textbook, shoulders hunched against the world. Damon paused, reached into his wallet, and handed the boy a business card. Come find me, he said, when you're ready to do something big. The boy looked up wide-eyed. You work for the bank. Damon smiled. No, they work with me. He walked on, calm, composed. What had happened in that branch wasn't just a personal insult. That IT was a reminder. That real change doesn't come from shouting and anger. IT comes from standing your ground, from returning with your head held high. and from turning every locked door into a corridor of purpose. Damon Carter wasn't just another customer anymore. He was the beginning of something bigger.